Keenan, do you want to?
Yeah, go on. Have a look.
God, some of mine are real bad.
Death.
Oh my
Just straight up death. Nice.
As in, what do we think of it, or what do we think happens after it? All of the above.
All those points.
What is death?
Something that you come from.
That's
What
right.
is death?
Right.
Yeah.
He stitched you right up there. Just because it's spelt wrong, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's DEF, guys.
Do anyone know sign language? Any of you know sign language? Any sign language?
Like the bare. Oh,
I
not
reckon
none
I
that.
can do the alphabet.
Yeah,
That's
I do.
about it,
I
yeah.
do.
Oh, I remember that one.
Oh, I remember that one. Was it?
Yeah. Why don't you fuck off?
Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Is
bring
that
it
really-
back.
Yeah. Or there's just the casual.
that will get the message across as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Are you a lesbian? Okay, man.
Fucking hell, right.
Oh, that's all because of my spelling. Yeah. So death.
Death.
Is it something?
What do you think happens when you die?
I think the game just gets reloaded if you ain't done it right.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
Is there like any like waiting lobby? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like
loading screens.
how
or
long
is
is
it
this
just
going to
like?
take? I've got somewhere to be.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I think. Have you seen the film Soul?
Disney movie. Yeah.
I think that had a really good way of depicting it, and I don't know whether they were trying to say it was the moon, but like obviously the guy falls in a hole, and he's like in the middle of his life. That's how he feels. He's like, I'm not fucking finished yet, and then it's a big escalator going up, or this big long thing going up to kind of this white light.
Yeah.
Obviously the white light. And I don't know what that is. I'm still like lost on what that is depicting. Whether it is like that's that soul's journey over, or you can restart again. And then so I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know. There's many theories in it. Like you reincarnate. Like I was thinking about a tree yesterday. Like if they say that trees connect, like Marcillian, right? Mushrooms connect everything like under the ground roots. They communicate. That's how they connect. So a tree is like, if we get into a situation, right, and you don't like it, you can just fucking walk off. Imagine you're in the woods and it's a rave. You'd be like, I can't fucking leave. Oh, sorry, bro. Hey, come on. You'd be like, I can't fucking leave. I'm a tree. I just got to stay here. But anyway, that was completely off topic.
No.
I was looking
I
at
like
a
that
soul's
thought.
journey as if a tree is in its own way, can communicate and whatever under the ground. Like it's taken some sort of fucking meditation solitary route that it has to stay there. Like that's where it is. It just grows in one spot and just experiences it in a different way. So what happens when that dies? Fuck knows either.
Well, it's just it feeds, it nourishes the next.
Nourishes the next.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I suppose. I don't know as well with death, like whether I'll get
So do you reckon maybe like it nourishes the next, as in like the tree's body decomposes, it gets the nutrients? Are like souls sort of like maybe decompose in a way and gets absorbed into another soul, and maybe that's what like
I'm not sure. I don't know
reincarnation
whether you leave the physical. Like I think the body's just a vessel.
Yeah.
And I think probably I don't know whether it's like the God, the universe, the one connected thing. Whether this personality you have is developed from the environment that your body's absorbed the emotion and the memories. So I don't know when you leave that. Do you leave the memory here and then you won't remember what you are as a soul or wherever it goes, or you're in a void where it's just black and you're like, okay, reload, where can I go? So I'm not sure, and I don't know what I want to do with the body either. Do I want to put me into a tree? Do I want to fucking be burnt?
And what about the mind as well? Because the mind is different from the soul. And they're not the same thing. So like it's important to remember that what happens to your mind. Your mind goes. Your mind just like stop. Is it over? Is it going?
Do you mean the mind or the brain?
Like the brain, like the physical brain, but like
The consciousness.
the conscious mind.
Whether you think it's a higher mind you're connecting with or not. You know what I mean, I'm not sure. I think you're playing a sort of role in a sense of who you develop. You do have an internal thought process. You talk to yourself in a sense.
Yeah.
It's a two-way conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I do think that. I do feel that. I don't feel that. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I think there is definitely a separate part of you. What happens after death. I think the best thing about life is that you don't know what happens after death. So it is a continuous of like, I need to fucking do what I need to do while I'm here because I'm not sure of the afterlife. But then there are people that do think they understand the afterlife, or older ancient civilizations that it was something that they do understand. So, but I love the topic. I love that one thing that fascinates me is when people do shrooms, and it's the ego death, or it's like people that are on stage 4 cancer, and they go through 2 sessions of like 5 grams of mushrooms, and they basically are just acceptant of death afterwards, because they've gone out of their body. So they realize they're not just the body. Once the body goes, they can still be that. That's my sort of understanding of how they go through that process. And a lot of people that are really ill actually come back a lot better minded and healthier and get through whatever illness they had after shrooms. So let's do some fucking shrooms.
You could get your shrooms at intheshed.com.
MagicTruffles.com.
Once it gets legalized, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Trond, what are your...
Yeah,
thoughts?
I think I have more like a materialist view on death. I think you do decompose and you go back to nature, and I think most of the beliefs around death are symbolic and they're useful to believe. Maybe I'm not close enough to the mic.
No, you're right.
And then, the butterfly effect, like everyone you influence, that multiplies and goes outwards, and you talk to one person, they remember that thing you said to them, and then it impacts 1,000 people. I think that's what lives on after you die. Because there's this saying, like, your second death is the last time someone utters your name, which can hit pretty hard. That gets some people existential. And then maybe it's reductionist for me to say it's just symbolic, but I don't believe there's life after death. I do think it's all about the impact you have during your lifetime. And if you pass on your DNA, then there's someone that's 50% you in some ways, and hopefully you raise them as well. So your impact on the world continues for hopefully hundreds of years.
Make kids, yo.
Yeah, no, dropping life knowledge, right? So he drops the mic.
and that,
boom.
And then that's it. That's Tron's entire appearance.
Yeah. What words of wisdom, man. Jesus.
I feel as if I heard that somewhere very recently. Was that in a film or something? Your second death, you die twice. Your first death is your actual death, and your second death is when the last person utters your name. I feel like I've heard that very recently. Is that...
You might have.
Is that in a film or anything like that? I'm just trying to...
I don't know where it came from.
No, okay. Maybe I heard it from you.
No, I didn't come up with it.
I definitely didn't see it on Facebook like 10 minutes ago. 100%, that wasn't definitely not what I did.
Auntie posted it.
What about you, bro?
What do I think about death? Interesting one. So I think that your brain creates your reality for you. So I feel like there's several things that happens, because I think your mind, it goes into like a dream state, and then I think your soul, like the essence of life that you have within the world, the willingness to do things, that like energy, whatever, that is what either goes into the reincarnation cycle because it's not achieved or not gone through the things that soul needs to go through to become a higher spirit, higher being, or if it has achieved and it has done it, then it becomes into something completely different and joins the like one supreme consciousness that rules them all, whatever, the eye in the sky, if you will.
Yeah.
And then your mind is like an ego and everything, the personification of you, and what we think of what you are is just a combination of your mind and your body and like that sort of thing, and obviously you. Your soul, whatever. So your mind puts you in a dream, and it's basically you're just going through the different stages, different different worlds you created, different things. It's like literally like a dream, just like constant different episodes of clips of your life based on whatever you've experienced within your life.
DMT is released when you die as well.
Yeah.
So I think that like at least that like for me it's like at least I'm going out high as fuck.
Yeah.
like if you don't try DMT your whole life, you'll be like fucking hell, death's fucking amazing. If you get if you're going it through sleep.
So when a vampire kills someone by sucking their blood, do they get high just at the end as the person dies from losing their blood?
What I've never.
No, they get hard.
Next week we have a vampire on the show. His name's Dave.
You've got to fucking blood.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like that. Sorry, go on.
No.
No, I like that a lot, but it's quite similar to is this too close?
No, you're cool.
So like a Buddhist concept, isn't it? Is it a Buddhist concept where when you said, did you mean if you haven't lived a perfect life, you kind of restart?
Yeah, so like I feel like the the mind, so your morals, your inner morals, your inner compass of like right and wrong, whatever, evil, is the ultimate thing that judges you. And if you think about it, if you're like living a good life and you're having you're doing good things, whatever, you usually have like good dreams, and you'll like be at peace when you're sleeping. Whereas if you're doing just like fucked up things or whatever, or like things aren't right, or you're just not feeling great, then like you'll have bad dreams. So I feel like when you die, it's like your brain goes to sleep and it just projects that as like the eternal sort of like resting place of like your ego and who you are and your whole encompassing life. And if that was good and you had a good life and you saw that yourself has that within that inner moral system that you have, then it can be your heaven and hell. And the soul is basically the thing that powers that. So if you are having a shit afterlife, essentially, then your soul can reincarnate into another life to gain new experiences, to try again, to try and purify your soul. So that way that afterlife that you have for your mind is kushti.
So you think you reincarnate then?
Yeah. Until you have like the one that you want.
Yeah, of course.
I've heard something very similar within like Buddhist teachings as well. I don't know if
I don't know. To be fair, I wouldn't say I'm a Buddhist or anything. I just like say from what I've experienced in life, that just makes the most sense to me.
I mean, Alan Watts says that it may take you not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6, 7 lives to be a Buddha, to get to the stage of ascension, to be that, you know, to live through it, to practice it. You know what I mean? What about you, bro?
It's a good question, because all the time I'm kind of, my mind's changing, or, you know, you might live through something or hear something that kind of changes your mind or changes your consciousness, and all of a sudden